Aloha. Oh, I think we're coming up on the hour here, and people, goddesses from all over the world will even be arriving in person live on the very cool Zoom, which is a remote opportunity for us to connect. And or possibly you are watching this on the record button, which is just as cool because new moon happens in a 24-hour period. And just because you can't join us live and you want to participate, find out how life is and connecting with each of us, and maybe some of you are here in person and we'll be able to interact, and then those of you who are in the remote world, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'll be happy to share with everybody, even if we're on different time zones. And I know I get a lot of conversation uh, throughout the year, so I'm just going to keep my opportunity open. So go ahead and just, I want to say thank you and welcome and happy new year. Woohoo! Let's get our little giggles and celebrations. Maybe you're not quite there yet, but it is the time. We are at the moment of the new year, and tomorrow's a really big day, and we'll be going over everything in. I have this handy dandy slideshow to keep us on point, because we gather, the commitment is here, we're going to gather for 1 hour, and if that's all we have in our modern life, then that's all we have. And so this is what you have. So I just want to kind of honor your time for the hour, for the goddesses connecting on the new moon. This is the first time we've connected for a couple months. I hit pause at the Virgo new moon of last year for personal reasons, and then it turned out it fit other people's schedules. So I kind of did a startup on the Lunar New Year, which I felt was appropriate. And so some of you have been connected with me for several years, 20 plus years. We've connected in and out of our lives. You travel around the world, and then some of you are brand new. Either way, welcome. If you're able to join us in person monthly, this is your time. So the new moon is here for you. So I'm going to go ahead and keep me on track. And feel free in the chat box now and plop in where you're located. And I'm going to go ahead and honor the earth, and just imagine yourself and all these goddesses coming together. And when the earth honoring and location, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians, owners of the land on which we circle today. The people here in California, of the inventor where I'm at, and Chumash, and the spiritual Lemurian Atlantean nations. I pay my respect, and all ancestral stewards of this land, elders past and present. If you are unaware of where your land or where you're traveling, possibly in the moment, which is how we have, you can go to native-land.ca and type in your geocode, and you will find out who your native and custodials are. And they love to be honored. So welcome. I welcome you. So the Moonifesting monthly schedule is no different than the ebb and tide of the ocean I watch. We think I say a circle, but it's actually an ebb and flow in tide, a low tide and a high tide, a low tide and a high tide, because we work off the moon, the menses. So before the new moon, please gather your ritual items, arrive in a state of empty presence. I'll review that in just the next slide. But each gathering monthly is the same. So this is the template. We'll have the welcome intro, the opening circle, the cosmic, the setting of intentions, the crafting, reading, closing circle, ebb and tide. So we'll sew it up in an hour. Before each new moon, gather your ritual items. Again, if you can, some people are driving or doing what you can to show up in a state of empty presence. We're not cross-coaching, even though most people that show up to these events are coaches. Please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space. This is a safe container for all. My intention for this program is that we grow through what we go through. And we as goddesses, we have the opportunity to expand and contract. So let's just take a moment. I'm going to go ahead and gather my candle here and light my candle. And imagine yourself holding hands with goddesses around the world. And feel free to repeat after me if you can see this or read at your own leisure. Around myself and those I love, I cast the ring past not. Only pure love and good come from me, and only pure love and good come to me. Welcome to Circle. So just go ahead and imagine all of us connecting now. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share and see if I can see faces. Yay, aloha. Sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't. So I just wanted to check in because it's not all about us. It's about all of us, and we will have an opportunity to share our intentions. Aloha, I see more faces. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the keep us on track here. Share my, whoops. Uh-oh, here we go. So the cosmic overview each month, So the cosmic overview each month is going to change. And the idea of that is that you have your imprint, your cosmic chart, and then the chart of the month, and then you can take those two charts and kind of look them up in the window and see how they blend together. So the idea of you having your unique situation is totally unique to you, and each month everything else will change. So we'll be talking about the current activities of each month. And what I've done in this program is created all of these really cool, can you see that? Let's see. There we go. Hopefully you didn't see that. These really cool PDFs. Okay, yeah, I'm a geek. But the idea of these is if you really want the opportunity to stay focused and diligent and self-disciplined on your behaviors, your actions, based on the ebb and flow of the moon and Moonifesting, you can measure results over time. This is not a quick thing. This is you having an experience with your own life. So if you were to fill out every one of these PDFs, if you're one of those people who like, yes, a form to fill out, then you will have the opportunity to fill out this form the way you want to in your specific, unique way. And there's a few of them every month. If you complete every single form by the end of the year, you can take all that information and create a book. So it is an absolute guarantee that the information that you write in there will be a book, whatever that looks like, because it's so unique to you. You'll be like, oh, I got it. I see my pattern. I see what I'm offering here. I see what I healed here. It's going to be a book. You'll see what I'm talking about. We all have our own experiences, and we also can measure our own results. And so that's one thing as scientists in this modern day world. Yeah, we just need an hour, but we also needed the opportunity to be this much self-disciplined in that crazy world. And these PDFs, if you are that kind of like, hey, I want to keep track, that's what these are for. So you'll see lots of PDFs. I'm giving it a little extra energy right now for the people who are new. So here we are. Woohoo! Happy New Year! Do, do, do. I hope everybody's getting their groove on, because wiggle out your tail, shake off the end of that skin, because the end of the snake, the skin is done. Not only are we changing wood snakes, we are changing elements. And when we change elements, it's like a whole big transition. It's like a we have to take a next step. And then if you've been part of this program for the last 6 years, and you know how like things have happened, when we left off, we were in the year of a 9, and now we're in the year of a 1. What? It's not just any kind of 1. It's a cosmic galactic 1 year of the Aquarius. No more holding back. Anything that we no longer used, took action on, shot the arrow Artemis style, wrote on our list of to-dos, even like took out the trash, whatever it was. If it's not there, ready to kind of like even think about, breathe about, feel about, it's not there. It's just not going to happen. Period. Let it go. So here are some 2 questions in the state of massive transition, like don't hold back transition, don't even think you know what's going to happen transition. You better get your Post-it notes out, and you're going to write down, I wonder what will happen next. Because every single time something happens, because there's going to be so hot and fast, like a flame, you know, fame, flame, for those of you who are in the entertainment industry, and I know there's a few of you out on this program that are in that realm. Its fame is just as fast as you light that flame. So what will happen next? And then the next question, why am I so blessed? So those are the 2 things that I put in red on the top, because this is going to be like the theme. Now, going into the black area, general, what's happening? The energy, even though right now you're kind of like, it's kind of slithery and gooey, you feel like you're in the mud still. You'll know when that gets lit. It's going to happen so fast, so bold, so wild. Everything's going to be so alive. Here's the question. What would you do if you trusted yourself? What would you do if you trusted yourself? That's this year's theme. Emotional portal of knowledge, with what we've got going on in the eclipses that started in January. We call that the wormhole. It's kind of like a rewiring of real time. Pay special attention to healthy boundaries where you go with the flow, and then gotta go now. As soon as it becomes mediocre, get out. Like you want to stay in that place where it fills you up. So whatever collapses now will ultimately create the necessary space for what you want to reshape itself for human collective. There is also a real opportunity to link ideals and reality in new ways. So you're going to be in that altered space, possibly, with effects that reach us into the far future. But you don't necessarily see the far future like immediate, but you know it's there. And Venus is in Pisces. We're going to be in that deep feelings, asking for bravery and honesty. Optimism returns when you trust your own self, your heart. The Jupiter is in Cancer. Expect expansive things to happen now, bigger than we could ever expect. Again, it's not something that we could ever think or know. It just is not going to be something like that. Saturn's in Aries. It's the initiator, portal of truth. It's not merely a passage. It's a sacred invitation to recalibrate, to attune to the cosmic frequencies that demand authenticity, vision. Whoops, I made a mistake there. Here's the quote. I recognize I see it. The compassion, the goddess of compassion. We'll be going into Ariel Spilsbury. I'll read what she has to say shortly. In the beginning of this month on the PDF, you'll see that I'm going to feature some of the things that were on that PDF. The beginning of the month was the full moon. It was in Leo. It's everything's in warp speed. It's also mirrored self. So we had a wormhole it's kind of silly. I can't even believe it happened this way, but of course you can, because when we ended the last program, it was at the end of the wormhole. And then I didn't realize that the wormhole was like two butterflies in the way that it was cycling around. So the way that one wing ended, it was going to mirror itself this wing. And that's when we started back up today. It's mirroring itself. So it's a very weird cosmic self. So if you were to reflect that into yourself and say September into November, what can you mirror? What happened will be a mirrored self into the next few months with very fast. So you got to be bold and vigilant. Also, that same time, we celebrated the cycle of St. Bridget's Day. She is the goddess of healing. She was the first female goddess that integrated all forms of healing. She also brought all the naked ladies in the pagan world with the goats to show everybody it's time to soak in the little drop. So if you think of the fermented cycle, it's one drop of blood dropping conception point into the goddess. So St. Bridget's, this you can see I have right above me. So pagans, witches would have it that if you had this in your kitchen, the Aries cycle, which is the initiation cycle that comes in the spring next month, won't burn your house down. I promise you, I only got yellow tagged when we got Thomas fired. I didn't get red tagged, and I truly believe that this is the saint that saved me, and I have these all over the house. So I keep them up, and feel free. There's a lot of great history around St. Bridget. She's an awesome saint for healing and spirit. Into today. Ta-ta-ta-ta. Eclipse. Really tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Ring of Fire wormhole. So it's a really important day to rest, to stay inside, to do less. Cover your mirrors. Let the spirit know that you're really training center. In the old days, like back in the tribal days, when you were Indians or when you're Jews or whatever you practice in the tribal days, they would honor each other. They wouldn't go and socialize on the day of the eclipse because everybody would really cover and protect themselves. It gives us choices. It gives us boundaries. And it's a time to choose ease. So in the Aquarius energy, it's about the Great Awakener. So we want to think about our social bonds and our dreams, our new faces that we're going to be coming to, something that we're going to be old relationships, maybe turn romantic. Like there's some kind of a conversation of a shift in this time. So the other question you want to think about during the wormhole, because it's like a diamond spinning, where in my life am I circling? Or here's another question, like depending on which direction you're coming from in consciousness, am I half in or am I half out? When my bones ache for more, am I being filled up? So what are the routines and habits or the dreams that tell yes? Like I'm so full, my body says yes. And I have leftover energy. Like just think about all this consciousness. When you go to a place, you feel empty, or are you hanging out with somebody, you feel drained. You're like, oh, that felt like a client. They should have paid me money. I shouldn't have gone for a walk with them. Walking is my sacred time. So think about these things. Like this is that conversation with yourself. In what area am I still waiting for permission? And what would I give permission to shift? That is really this energy. It's so powerful. When I say it's not like it's a 1 energy. So these are just not old conversations. This is like lifetimes of conversations. Did your mom or grandma tell you a story that all of a sudden you're thinking, oh yeah, I've been holding on to that, and I've just been waiting for permission? Who's going to tell you? Your grandma? She's dead. Like honestly, Like, think about where we got this information, why and how we're holding on to it. In the Great Awakener stage, we are in the I know stage. The organs that we should be working on right now in this moment are the calves, the ankles, the shin, the Achilles, the forearms, the muscles, and the thyroid. The thyroid is such an I really think we have an epidemic of thyroid in our country, to be quite honest with you. So that's just my personal interjection. Moving on. Ta-da! Let's celebrate! Oh my gosh, it's so exciting to go into the year of the horse. Let me tell you, we have a fast, banging, moving, crazy, do not accept mediocre year. Do not go their year. You say yes to everything and say, oh, I'm so sorry, it didn't fit my schedule. I'd like to take a rain check. So you say yes to everything because I'll check my schedule. Yes, I'll check my schedule. I'll get back with you. And beyond that, because it's that kind of fast paced. I mean, nothing maybe will land because it's that fast paced and all over the place. And you're going to be singular and you want to gather with your community. That is really what this year is about. Like, be conservative with your money. It's going to be a tight year. Conservativeness is definitely that year. All right, so Big Bang. Why am I putting some interest in this? This was not on the sheet, or did I add it on the sheet? I might have. You might be hearing this. This is like all the rumor buzz going around. Saturn, Neptune on February 20th. Nothing in this historical opportunity has happened in our world. It is considered the Big Bang. It is so Big Bang that people have been studying this for many, many, many years. And in the preface of this, they say this Big Bang will lead us to a crazy 2027 will then lead into a famine. Don't freak out. This is not a freak out. This is an opportunity for you to go buy a piece of land that you can go grow some really cool cosmic grapes and cucumbers from the same vine. I mean, that's the kind of opportunity I'm talking about here. Don't freak out if you hear famine. Just as like an opportunity. Like it's just the way the life is going to be because the cosmic is saying this, just because it might not happen to you. So the idea that this situation is happening to all of us around the world is in historical notes. I want you to take note on every single day. I want you to journal that day. You might not think anything is circumstantial. And then 6 months, 8 months down the road, you're like, holy crap, how did I even not know that that was going to change my life? Like, you wouldn't know. So these are the things that I'm saying. So no one's going to actually know how it's going to hit you. We don't even know how it's going to hit our country. We don't know how it's going to hit anything. So don't make a big deal about it. Look towards the opportunity for something really fucking cool to happen with a new chapter, a new cycle, characterized by pioneering, innovative, courageous willpower, strong impulses. Pull together your avantageous leaders of all leaders. This is the time to pull out the bow and arrow and have everybody on your team. Let's do this. Like whatever it is, even if this is you going into the forest, grabbing a book and saying, I'm going to read for a while, then that's what that is for you. It's just so fucking big. I don't want to put too much more energy into it, except for the fact it's a really big deal. And if you haven't heard your people talking about it yet, then you will. Let's take a breath. I'm going to sip some kava. Okay, so Mercury goes retrograde. So when we go Mercury retrograde, you'll hear for everybody who's not, they're like, so yeah, no big deal. Okay, so for those of you who are thinking, Mercury retrograde, it just depends on how Mercury hits your chart. If you have Mercury retrograde when you're born, then you will be affected by it one way or another. And I can help you with that. But for the most part, it just means that all the communications and anything to do with communication kind of comes to a stall, like a stall. It's not going backwards, it just hits a stall. The other way to think about it is anything that started during Mercury in retrograde will also come to an end during Mercury in retrograde. So it's a definite measurement, a measured scientific way to measure results if you're into that. This particular Mercury retrograde kind of has already started a week ago. Communications are at a real high level. Like it becomes not just a high level, but like escalating. People become emotional. And it's just not a typical Mercury retrograde. Even if you're not affected by them, people around you will be affected by them. The cognitive realignment with destiny, it's kind of like, as I saw in somebody, I quoted this from Stephanie, there's a baptism of the mind at the particular cycle, followed by a purification. So it's like you're having this 5D happen, and then there's this resurrection, like, so that you're going to have these things during this Mercury retrograde that are not like normal Mercury retrogrades, if that makes sense. And so I'm just kind of making note on it. Usually I'll just be like, yeah, Mercury's in retrograde. Okay, how are we doing? So setting intentions. Think about all the cosmic where you're at, everything we just know about the month, and what will you let go of the cycle, what no longer serves you. And then here's another opportunity for those of you who have never manifested before and are not quite sure what this means and how to do it. This is my if this and this but this sequence. And it's a great way to have a deletion process because our mind gets so full and we're like, but we really want that, but not with that, and not with that, and not with that. And so we have so many knots that it gets in the way with what we really want. And the more we say not, it actually is calling in what we're asking for. So by accident, I came up with this, and it's like, if this, well, if it's this, and I get this, but this, these are all the things. So somehow I played the game and all of those things came true. So this is what I call the 3 easy steps to manifesting if you don't know how to manifest. If this and this, but this. You can fill in the blanks. You don't have to, if you still want to have a dialogue with me around this afterwards, feel free. That's the number one thing people are like, I'm so confused. I'm like, it's generally because it doesn't apply to you. If you're confused, you're like, oh yeah. But if you get it, you're like, oh, I get that. You'll know it applies to you. Okay. I have some like work, what do they call that? Housework or cleaning, house cleaning. Year to come. So here we go. Absolutely the best tool as a modern goddess is taking the information of the cosmic and applying it to your phone, your digital calendar, everything that you need that you would say, well, how would I know the new moon and the full moon? How would I know when these things are happening? Well, let me tell you, you wouldn't, because there's never been a thing until now, a few years. I guess we can thank Canton Becker. So I have Canton Becker's information here. I added the QR code. Thank you for whoever last year said, hey, how come you don't have a QR code? Yeah, okay. I've learned. Got the QR code in there now. So you can, and if you just remember, everything's recorded, so you can go back. You can go to cantonbecker.com, you click under astronomy calendar, and you can subscribe. He is the coolest guy. And if you want to donate to him, he's got the coolest stickers. Like, the guy is such a cool geek when it comes to boons and really fun things. And even my beloved Larry, I think some of you may have know him. And he really geeked out over Canton's personal hobbies. like Canton Becker created a pi 3.14, pi, uh, music that lasts for like 23,000 years just based on that pi. Like if you're into pi, like the number. I mean, we love Canton. I just want to give Canton a shout out. And for everybody who's never learned anything about the ebb and flow of the cycles, and this is the one thing you live off of, you could absolutely thank Canton for having and subscribe. It's free, or you can donate and get some free stickers, which I love getting his stickers. Okay, thank you, Canton. This is the cycle of the moon. So if you ever have the opportunity to see the moon, these are all the cycles of the moon. And this is us, the goddesses that exist here. We have this awesome menstruation cycle. This is an absolute ebb and flow of the moon cycles every single day. We can contemplate, we can meditate, we can create, we can sit on it. That is the way the goddesses work. We ebb and flow. I have another slide, but I just want to make sure that you actually know what it's like. Now, hey, Andy, I've been in postmenopause for blah, blah, blah years. Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. You still have the ebb and flow of the goddess. You might not be bleeding, but that doesn't mean you don't have this flow. So where's your flow within you? You will still have a 21-day cycle. You will still have all of these things. You not bleeding. And so for those of you who have known me for a long time, we've been meeting in person for over 20 years. You know I healed myself with this program, so thank you for being a part of the goddesses in that circle. And this is what it looks like when we're in phases. And please, feel free. Email me, say, hey, Andy, this is wrong. I'm fine. I did all of this myself. I don't have an assistant for this. So feel free to let me know how this looks for you, or if it worked, or if you need more information. This is the menstrual cycles and the moon phases. I will be happy to keep these slides in over the month, so don't get too fixated. So I want to get stuck on them. But this is the phases of expression and how it works. So we have the new moon right now, dream, manifest, new beginnings, planting seeds. So at this moment, you're going to be thinking about what we're going to be what you would want to be manifesting, letting go of the cycle right now, and I'll unmute everybody, and everybody will have an opportunity to share in just a minute after this slide. And then as you go into the new moon, into the crescent moon, you'll see the phases starting to shape. Maybe your interpersonal relationship with a conversation or creative matter or whatever you're working on project will change as well. Like this is the ebb and flow. Like you may not need to make a decision right away, right? Again, contradicts with the year of the horse. The year of the horse is going to be so fast you say yes and then see where it fits. So that's why you see how we have to kind of go along with the flow of the fire in the moment. So as a crescent moon, dream manifests, fresh energy, the first quarter action and commitment, waxing. So you'll see in the middle here, you have reflective days 1 through 7, the dynamic days. These are all part of your menses. 7 through 14, expressive 14 through 21. You've got the waxing gibbous, shedding illumination in the full moon. Everything comes to fruition, whatever no longer serves. And then now we're coming into the creative phase, right? Days 21 through 28, waning gibbous, gratitude, acceptance, third quarter, adjust and release, the waning crescent, reflect and reset. So we've gone the full cycle. And here we are with the energy of all of the holidays and rituals. So every single, you can kind of see it, the color, here's the Aquarius, here's the years, here's the symbol of air, all the way into the center. The moon's it's facing the north. Whoops. Sorry about that. The holidays, we're working in bulk. Here's the circle. So you'll see how it works. And we're just in this little section right here at the top left. And one more PDF for your leisure. The Moonifesting Planner. So you have it now. Let's say, oh yeah, Andy, I don't want to just do this overnight because of it, but I just showed you the whole cycle of all the moons. So now you can say, well, I have a staff of people and I only have them clean my house this many days. Well, you're going to bring them in on the days that you need cleaning, but maybe you're going to change them based on the moon cycles. Maybe you're going to bring your assistant in based on the moon cycles. So think about, even if you have a staff of people and you're not doing this yourself, you might need help. So you can plan your schedule or plan your team to work in the moon cycle. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go back really quick. So I'm going to go back and stop the share. Whoops. What will you let go of this cycle, and what will you want to bring into this cycle? So Happy New Year. I'm going to stop the share. And now that you have a big 30 minutes of head-filled information about the year and what's been happening, and if you're comfortable going on live, feel free. I will unmute you or I can mute you. And what this month, like the moon of Aquarius, what are you going to let go? And what would you like to bring in? And maybe because it's the first of the whole year, is there something bigger for the year that you'd really like to shoot the arrow at to see at the end of the year? This is about moonifesting. This is about measuring results over time. So anything you'd like to share, the goddess circle is open. What would you like to let go this month of Aquarius with all this information in the cosmic? What would you like to bring in? Who would like to go first? Anyone?
I could go. When I was reading it, when it said half-hearted. I know something kind of poked me there, and I feel I don't know, I can't say like specifically what I'm gonna let go, but I think I need to look at like what am I actually showing up just half-heartedly. Like I feel like there's things I could definitely let go that my energy just kind of going through the motions because I think I should. So I definitely think there's something there. I'm gonna journal on that. But I think what like the overarching with that is like I need to go like more intimate with myself. And I feel like that's been pulling me through, I don't know, the last few weeks. Like I need to be more intimate with myself. Like not who am I, but like what am I actually feeling? What am I needing? What am I like craving? Like reignite that spark in me. So I think that's kind of like overarching, like this coming year. But I think it's gonna start like with that. Where am I half-hearted, like moving through life? And I think that kind of like break the ice and stop doing the just kind of half-assing things. Kind of the way I think of it. So
That's deep. That's good. Congratulations. Welcome. Awesome. Okay. Heather, would you like to share? If you can't, if you're unable to, that's totally fine. I will be happy. Okay. I personally am letting go of my stagnant, anything that's like feels stagnant or set like just kind of comfortable. I'm letting that go. Like I really want to let go of anything that I've been hiding in the bushes. So it's funny, like half-assed, maybe similar consciousness. I understand that. And then as far as bringing in, I'm heading out. I'm heading out. It's not just bringing in the team of people to support, to find that. I believe every day in every single way the universe is going to support me, and and what I need to offer and how I need to offer it. And so that's really the year of the horse for me. It's time. It's like there's going to be a lot of activity. All right. Anybody else like to share? If not, I will continue and we will move on. Oh, yay. Beautiful. Goddess.
Uh,
Aloha.
Aloha. So interesting when you were sharing something that I've been really thinking about over the last few weeks and really the start of the year is if I trust myself fully, what would I be doing? And so I've just been exploring that for myself right now. I don't, and I know it's like you're the horse, just say yes, you represent. I am doing that very interestingly in a lot of ways, but like I've still am feeling this kind of easeful space right now of just like letting myself be with myself right now and allowing that to come to me versus forcing that right now. Like I've just it's been like it's just been it's interesting. Like I'm almost doing like my spring cleaning right now in like 1,000 ways, like literally in my home and even like for myself. And like it feels like spring. I don't know why. And I was like, okay, I know I'm like creating space for the next thing. Like, what's that thing? And I'm just like, want it to be more organic versus like what I think it should be. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And I think it has to do a lot with all of that, like trust, because that's been that was my big thing, is trust and allowing myself to like let go of anywhere within myself I brace, whether that's, on any idea or thought or whatever it is, like wherever I brace, just like where do I let go and what does that tell me?
Awesome. Welcome.
So we'll see.
Welcome. Welcome to the year of the horse. Awesome, everyone. Okay. Let's go ahead and share. Andy needs share button status. Okay, there we go. We know the phases, so now you get it. So you get ebb and flow, moonifesting. So let's go into the crafting. So the whole reason why we do this, and back in the old days, and Heather's present, so she remember, one of the best parts, and I say best parts because we're missing a key component of Goddesses Gathering, and that's eating. Ladies love to eat. And when we gather, we talk more when we eat. So when we eat and we do crafting with our hands, it's all the matter. And then we come back together and it's always so good and heartwarming and filled up. So that's the one piece about this 1 hour little workshop we just don't have, is that eating crafting. So I pick a little teeny craft that's a way to repurpose and remember the manifesting tools. Again, another PDF for your leisure. You have all these opportunities to be like, oh, this one resonates with me this month, or this one didn't. But this is a way to measure your new moon intentions. What are you grateful for in the moment? And then the recipe, like our recipe is super easy. Our ingredients are red string, like ta-da. But if you decided to go deeper into this, you totally could. What's your flow cycle? Well, Andy's never flowed since, in her 20s, for the exception when Heather was laying in bed with me in my 40s, which is a very funny story. I'll have to share that one day. And then sleep. What's your sleep level, your energy level? The very most important thing is at the bottom right here is that the results manifested. You will not necessarily see the results manifested from this string tied immediately. You might notice it a little bit down the road. So repurposing and checking in with your notes every so often, you'll be like, oh yeah, that happened. And then you'll write a little note of when that completed. So the crafting of the Aquarius new moon calls for a red string, 6 to 9 inches. I kept a ribbon from the holidays. Scissors, a lighter, a candle, obviously red. Red represents the moment of the drop of blood. not just the idea, but the drop of blood of conception, one drop of blood coming into a pool of white, clear essence. What am I resurrecting in life? I stand in my mastery, rooted in truth and fulfilled in divine love, miracles and grace. The red string represents your divine essence. So this craft is pretty simple. For every knot you decide that you're going to knot before you wrap it around your arm and tie it on your wrist, and then it'll fall off when it's ready. I like to say go at least 7 chakras, 7 knots if you can. And you want to think about, I am resurrected in this life. I stand in my mastery, rooted in truth and filled with divine love, miracles, and grace. That is your purpose of tying each knot. And then when you drop one drop of blood into your consciousness, you're going to tie a knot. What is that for? Is that for relationship? Is that for teamwork? Is that for a project you're working at? Is that for a house? Is that for a baby? What is that for you that you're connecting to? And during this moment, I'm going to go ahead and read while you're going in your moment of tying your knots. I'm just going to go ahead and read what Ariel Salisbury wrote for the Goddess of Compassion for this month. Just reclaiming your Aquarius new moon self into the year of fire horse, Goddess of Compassion. I evoke she who unfolds in mercy, forgiveness, and compassion. Holy beloved Goddess of Compassion, I call out for your unconditional love, mercy, and forgiveness. I pray for you to break down, purify, and transmute my reflections to all projections from the world with which I have consciously or unconsciously identified. I call forth and evoke the power of the violet flame to release the cause, effect, record, and memory of these identifications and contradictions now. Goddess of Compassion, receive me into the heart of compassion. Receive me into the purity of your lotus awareness. I call forth your blessings with these words. I recognize, I seed. Remember to breathe as you're tying your knots so the energy moves through you. Nice. It's a moment of quiet for those of you on the recording. All right. Would anybody like to share anything that came up during this moment, during the crafting? It's okay if nothing came up. Sometimes people like to be chatty. If we have less people on here, we have an opportunity to be chatty. All right. This is my 7th. I was so excited to use this. I kept this. It was like the one red string that came on the winner solstice. And I was so excited. I was like, I know it's a little bulky, but I'm going to use it. So that's my personal, because I figured, I was like, I could double wrap. It's okay. Anybody else like to share? All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm going to share the screen then, and remember your crafting. Go ahead and put your on your wrist, and when it falls off, it becomes manifested. You know that sometimes, depending on your material, it'll dissolve or it won't dissolve. And there are different measurement tools. Go ahead and share. All right, so here we are crafting. So now we're going to go ahead and pick. Each month we pick from the deck. Whoops. There you go. Hold on. Okay. So I had 2 decks, but I decided to go with the these are the angel cards, because we have so much going on with the new moon and the fire horse, and there's so much energy that we just need some spiritual connection so we can stay together. But these angel cards are just some great inspirational words from the angels and our spiritual energy. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix them up, and I'll pick 3. Go ahead and take a deep breath in and exhale as a group, and we'll just imagine all the golden light from our circle mixing in here. And the first card is balance. Look at her, she's balancing. So we have balance. Clearing the decks, your brains, the goddesses are connected. We have picked tenderness. Tenderness. Balance and tenderness. Those go hand in hand for the moment. And our third card from the angels of the spiritual realm will be clarity. Look at that. So balance, tenderness, and clarity. Let's see. There we go. That's what we got. Oh, it's not really working. There we go. I'm trying. All right. Does anybody have any shares or anything like they'd like to say before we close circle? Feel free to unmute.
I think the balance, that's like, seems like the perfect word that I'm like, I feel I keep going to like highs and then lows. It's just kind of like all over. I need more of just a littler wave, more balance, and not shame myself when I do go to those highs and lows too. It's part of life. I get that. But then also I guess, trusting and just the clarity, like everything's going to work out.
It's all happening. It's
Yeah.
happening to all of us.
Yes.
That's cool. Balance. That's good. So this is just 1 month. We're just transitioning into it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. Any other comments or thoughts? We kind of, with less people, we go through it a little quicker. I always time it out. And then we had a little less astrological things going on, but next month we have a lot more. So I've already prepared next month. It's like, sometimes it takes a little longer. But feel free, like if you have anything to share, it is the new moon. If you're like, okay, I really want to say something and I didn't say it earlier, this is the moment. This is the time. Okay. I know I've never ended like early. Usually everybody's so chatty. Let's see. So, if we all agree that we have nothing more to share right at this very moment because it's so hot and fire, we're like tired. We need a nap. Please close your eyes or open your eyes, whatever's comfortable for you, and let's hold hands. Imagine those goddesses connecting around the world for those of you who are in person, for those of you who are checking in remotely and watching this video. Breathing 3 times, just feeling the energy pulsing. Please repeat after me in your own space and time. The circle is open, but unbroken. May the peace of the goddess stay in your heart. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. Namaste. Thank you very much for showing up for today and next month. For those of you who are able to show up in person, we will meet at 6 p.m. Pacific time on the 17th of March, which is also St. Patrick's Day. It's a Tuesday, I believe, and it's a great day. If you would like to share with your goddesses and have them drop in onesie twosies, that's what this is about. If you can come every month, that's great. Everything's available on your portal, all the PDFs. If you have any questions, feel free. Please reach out to me at andy@andygirl.com. And I know I will be hearing from a lot of you watching the videos in the morning because I generally do. Have a wonderful new year. Please celebrate. Celebrate with yourself with love, kindness, self-respect, peacefulness, rest. Settle into the day tomorrow. And then when you're ready, you'll be ready to ride the wild horse. And I'll see you all next month. Namaste, goddesses. Ciao.